is. There it is. What's good, everybody? Salute. This is New Comic Book Day Indie Review. I am your host, Reno Noir, and this is the sixth element of hip hop. My co-host, Stu Dog.
Salute.
Yeah, man. It's a little bit backwards.
Stu Dog in the house.
Stu Dog in the building. Yo, we waiting on some people to come in. I wonder if it. See, hold on now. See, I'm looking at YouTube, and I don't even see this video. Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. All right, so I guess probably just now it became available. You can see this video. And just now came available to people, so yeah, probably some people start filing in now.
Yeah, they'll trickle in, man. It just takes time, but that's all. It takes time. I mean, they probably it's dinner time. They probably just got done eating dinner. Yeah, I mean, some other things, it's all.
It is what it is. I know I had a few people that was like, "Yo, I'm waiting right now." So, I guess now they probably getting the, the link and all of that. We got one person in here. Who that?
Okay.
Who that? We got two people in the building. What's good, everybody? When y'all come in, check in, man. Hit that like button, please, and say what's up in the chat. Check in with us. Let us know you're here.
Yeah, let us know you're viable.
Yeah, now we got
you alive. We got two people.
Three people
alive.
Yeah, man. But it is New Comic Book Day, as everybody knows, and this is the New Comic Book Day Indie Review Show. And two people just came in, and then two people just left. I don't know what's going on. Hey. The image is good though. I'm looking at it on YouTube. The image is good because we got that we hardwired into the internet, so ain't no more issues.
Gotta be. You can't have a desktop and not be hardwired into the
Check
internet.
them out. Apocalypse.
Yeah, where'd you get that, man?
Dog, I was so mad when it came because I thought this was gonna be a 7-inch Marvel Legends figure.
Right. That's more. That's like
4 inches tall.
That's like 4 inches, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 4 inches tall, but it's probably my favorite, iteration of Apocalypse, my favorite look, and that's from
Where'd you get that?
I got it off Macari.
Macari,
not Macari. MECRI. And they do comics on there. I mean, it's like an Etsy store. It's like eBay. It's some of everything is on there. But
really?
Yeah, Macari's great, man. Macari's great. You get a lot of stuff for great prices. But like I said, I ordered this. I thought it was gonna be a Marvel Legends, but he's just a short guy, so he's gonna sit on top of my tower right here. But this is the Apocalypse from Messiah Complex and all of that. Like this is that Apocalypse.
Okay.
So I love the look. He's got the all the tubes and shit. This is the he's been technologically enhanced by the Celestials.
Yeah, that Macari,
yeah. Yo, Nate, what's good? Stranger Danger in the house. Nathan C, what up?
See what's going on.
Yeah, man. When y'all come in, hit that like button and check in the chat. Say what's up. Peace.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up.
Did y'all
like the video? Because if you new around here, stay true around here. If you like it, give it a thumbs up.
That's right.
If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down, but don't come back.
No. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down twice.
Hit thumbs down twice.
Hit it twice. Yeah, that's what I always say. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down 2 times. If you like it, hit the like.
I just tell them hit thumbs down, don't come back. I mean, do what you got to do, but don't.
I if they don't like it, watch it anyway. Because what happens a lot of times, like the Howard Stern show, for instance. Remember the movie they did about it, and they were talking about the ratings and all of that, and they were like, everybody hates the show, and they're like, yo, but the ratings are doubled because the people watching. The people that don't like this show are way more the majority of the people that are watching the show. The people that hate it are the ones that watch it. He was like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. You
Because
know, because
they
yeah,
watching to hate. They want to hate.
right. Exactly. They hate. They want to hate. They want to watch so they can hate on it. And so yeah, man, watch, hate on it. We love it. But nah, so I guess you know, not that many people can. Okay, we got 2 people in the building. It's all good, man. People gonna watch this on the replay and all of that. But let's get the show on the road. So here we go. This is New Comic Book Day Indie Review. Today is New Comic Book Day, and we got a few indie comics we're gonna chop it up and talk about with y'all. Um, Stu,
Yes, sir.
what did you think about the Unbelievable Unteens
I thought that.
by Jeff Lemire?
Listen, man. I'm gonna be honest. You want my honesty? I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm
Always.
tell you like this. It was dope. It
was
It
dope.
was hella dope. Like,
That shit was phenomenal.
I mean, I grabbed the last copy in the whole store, and it's dope, man. It's about a girl who is drawing a comic, which actually is called The Unbelievable Unteens. And she goes home one night, and this ghost like guy comes in her house, proved that he was really a ghost, and told her that everything she wrote in the comic was true. Of course, she didn't believe him. She had to be convinced. He takes her to their base, their mansion that they used to be in. She starts believing. She said, "Hey, this is the same place that's in my comic." God says, "I told you it's real. Like, all of this is real. Your memories are suppressed, even mine." He was like, "I didn't know until I started reading your comic. That's when it came back to me."
Right.
But that isn't the gipper of the story. The gipper of the story is where the rest of them. Because she doesn't know, and neither does he. And why don't they remember their time together? And who was the one that wiped their memories? I mean, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, but it's a good. You got to read. I'm not even gonna go too much more into it.
Well, y'all know, Jeff Lemire is crazy. Is blowing up right now with all his crazy. All his great books. Comics that are out that are blowing up. He's doing. He's got Batman and Robin, of course, but he's got Black Hammer. He did some Thanos, and of course, Sweet Tooth is his big claim to fame. Sweet Tooth blew up all over, Netflix, and is a really cool comic. But I mean, he's done everything from Thanos to Bloodshot, Descender, Green Arrow, Animal Man, Reign of Doomsday, Swamp Thing, a lot of DC stuff, Ghost Stories, Definity, Essex County, did some Old Man Logan. I mean, he's done a lot. Black Hammer, like I said, The Question. So he's definitely a prolific writer and does a lot of this is the stuff I consider, literature in comics. You know what I mean? Like, his Old Man Logan, All New Hawkeye, Sweet Tooth, Sentient, Gideon Falls, Ascender. So he's a true writer. You know what I mean? A true writer. And Jeff Lemire and Tyler Cook successfully bridged the gap between two of my three favorite comic genres, namely superhero, autobiography, and well, those two. And in Unbelievable Unteens #1, set in 1997, aka one of the darkest times for direct market comics. Remember that. It follows Jane Ito, a burnout cartoonist from Spiral City who writes and draws a superhero book called The Unbelievable Unteens. However, these characters may have actually existed, and the story takes tonal twists and turns and culminates in one hell of a final page. The Unbelievable Unteens wouldn't work as a comic without Crook's ease at going from the melancholy washes of the autobio comic to the cleaner lines and flat yet dynamic colors of a superhero comic from that fun time when the Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans ruled the earth. However, the superhero bits aren't all fun and games, as Lemire and Tyler Cook use Jack Sabbath as a bridge between Jane's lonely, rainy reality and the world of the Unteens, hinting at some kind of a Dark Phoenix saga, slash Judas Contract situation that broke these smiling teen heroes apart. This, in addition to his macabre looks and the dark washes of color that Crook uses in every panel he appears, as Jane and Jack root around in the old Unteen's mansion, the book visually falls into horror territory, a la the first arc of Sandman, Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, that kind of spooky, ethereal, almost ghost type artwork, and it's almost like the finished product. If Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz decided to turn New Mutants into a full-on horror comic after the Demon Bear saga, which is which if you remember from the movie New Mutants, and this so reminds me of the New Mutants.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, that's clearly like an homage to the New Mutants, especially the movie, that just came out recently where they fought that Demon Bear. And despite all the references to other superhero or superhero adjacent comics, like, Animal Man number 26 or Grant Morrison himself is responsible for all the hardships Buddy Baker has gone through, The Unbelievable Unteens stands on its own as a story about a 28-year-old woman who's stuck in a monotonous existence and has a chance to go on a nostalgic adventure that may end up not being so nostalgic or adventurous. Before going into the finding the lost superhero team bit, Jeff Lemire and Crook bask in the utter shittiness and loneliness of Jane Ito's life, capturing the pain of her at her drawing table in her face, as well as through dialogue about her making a small mistake on a commission, perhaps drawing on from their own experiences. These pages take a snapshot of the physical pain and utter grind of making comics that is that is contrast with the enthusiastic fans asking for autographs, taking pictures, and trying to squirrel out plot points from her. It's uncanny how Lemire's dialogue is the exact boilerplate conversation between pro and fan.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's
That's
like
true, because even in the comic, when you read the comic, it starts off like that. She's at like a Comic-Con or something like that, and she's signing. She's just doing artwork and things. And some guys come up and ask her for to autograph their book, take a picture with her. They're talking about characters, and they're saying, and then one guy says, "Well, listen, we hope it never ends. We hope it just keeps going."
Yeah.
Said, if it does, it was like, what are you going to do? She said, well, if I have to end it, she said, that's up to the people. She said, but if I have to end it, I have something in mind. That's exactly what she said. But then when she gets with the ghost dude that came and found her, that used to be part of the team, he asked her, he said, well, listen, do you think you know where they're at? And then he knew he had an idea, but his idea was her ending for the book, which confirmed even more that this did all these things that she keeps dreaming, writing about did really happen.
Right. Yeah.
But it was good, man. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, bro. It kind of reminded me of like, what's the one? I don't know. That type of thing where like the writer manifests the reality, makes it really happen or whatever. But this is more of like, it's repressed memories that she didn't know happened, and she's writing them down and not knowing that they're coming from actual experience.
Right.
And once Jack Sabbath enters the picture, The Unbelievable Unteens picks up momentum with more speed lines, expressiveness, and especially the pop of the palette that Tyler Crook uses for flashback sequences. Crook's art is like crazy dope in this. And then Jack pulls, he's in a melodramatic superhero comic, while Jane is more standoffish in her posture and speech. Lemire's plotting is quite logical, and Jane doesn't really start to buy into the Unteens being real until she sees a mansion that is basically a 3D model of the drawings she uses. This setting triggers a flashback that gives just enough detail about the Unteens' powers and origins to make them somewhat memorable and set up the quest to find them with a comic book written by the protagonist. Yeah, this comic is pretty freaking meta. And that's okay because it shows the postmodern superhero slash horror slash autobio comics can fit in the Black Hammer universe. It's the perfect. Wait, looks like your camera was unplugged. Why is my camera unplugged?
Here's one where they show the
Oh,
pages
crap.
of the comic that she's drawing and
Right.
all the heroes that were there.
Right.
It's a great book, man. Like I literally was blown away by the flow of the. You know how you get some comics, they just don't flow well, or it'll be a lot of dialogue, and then you'll say to yourself, "Come on, let's just get with the story." Like all this dialogue just isn't, it isn't what I'm, what I'm here for. But this isn't like that, man. There's dialogue, but it moves like it's moving dialogue, like it moves the story. The artwork goes with it really well. And if you haven't picked this up, please go pick this up. This is unbelievable,
man. And this is the Black Hammer universe. If you've been reading Black Hammer at all, or you're into that, it's the perfect canvas for Jeff Lemire and his versatile collaborators like Tyler Cook, who goes from riffing on Adrian Tamine in The Loneliness of a Long Distance Cartoonist to Walt Simonson in The Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titan in the space of a single comic, while having his own style and approach to storytelling. For example, I'm a huge fan of how the flashback comics actually drawn by Jane Ito fit inside the actual pages like a key or like a guidebook to the larger universe. But yeah, like he said, man, The Unbelievable Unteens #1 is the perfect comic for every reader, who has like a Chris Claremont, Joe Matt, definitely an Alan Moore on their bookshelves, Jeff Lemire, and Tyler Cook. The Unbelievable Unteens #1 is the perfect comic for every reader, who has like a Chris Claremont, Joe Matt, definitely an Alan Moore on their bookshelf. Why did that just happen? You hear the audio? You hear that the echo?
Yeah, I hear the echo. Yeah.
Is that you? Or you?
Nah, testing 1 2 testing.
Check 1 2.
I hear a little bit. Yeah, I hear a little bit testing.
Okay. No, that was weird. It just totally repeated everything I said.
Testing.
But yeah, Jeff. Jeff Lemire and Tyler Cook also put Jane Ito on the first steps of reality blurring emotional journey that give us a good gauge on her temperament before throwing her in the deep end of the genre shift that is reflected powerfully by the comic's art style and color palette.
That's true.
Pick this up. Definitely, I recommend it. I super dope it. This one gets a super dope from me.
This one gets 4.5 black albums out of 5.
Right. I feel you. I feel you on that. So, Dark Blood.
Oh, Dark Blood's good too, man. Dark Blood is like, I don't know, bro. I can't even put a finger on it, but I can tell you this much: it was good. It was really good.
So, guys, Alabama, 1955. Avery Aldridge was a decorated soldier during World War II. Now he's just an ordinary young black man busy providing for his wife and daughter, but the wounds of the past have a way of coming back, and he'll soon discover that he is anything but ordinary. After a run-in awakens strange new abilities, Avery's about to become more powerful than he could have ever dared to dream in a country and society that never wanted him to have any power. That's the sort of the tagline, the summary.
No, that's it. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's
it hits it right on the head.
That's it. Because in the book, he's getting off of work. His boss says goodnight to him. He's walking down his alley. I guess he's a little claustrophobic because he didn't want to go down the alley. He goes down the alley, and this guy, comes up behind him and says, "Hey." And then he turns around, but he knows the guy. The guy knows him. They know each other. And he says, the mysterious guy says, "Hey, the guy called you Double A. Is that what you go by now?" And he says, "Sometimes." And then, the guy's calling him names. He's calling him boys, calling him the N-word. And then he says, "You should be scared." Yeah, that's him right there. And he says, "Okay, I'm scared." So then he says, "You know what?" The guy says, I'm gonna show you how scared you should be." He goes to shooting, and then that's when his powers activate, and he stops the bullet. The guy just keeps shooting and shooting, and the powers just keep stopping the bullets. So now the mysterious figure, he can't believe it. He's like, "Oh man, whoa, whoa, whoa. He never seen anything like that." Yeah, there he is. His powers are activated, and he's stopping the bullets. So then he starts approaching him, and the guy starts running. Runs out of the alley, gets hit by a car. Boom. Car hits him. And guy Avery starts having flashbacks of the war, things like that. But apparently he must have gotten his powers in the war, because he makes a reference to, I think he calls it the event. I think is what he calls it. Yeah, those are his flashbacks of the war where he was, in the war. But he winds up running away from the scene of the accident, and he falls out in the woods. And he has another flashback of his plane going down while he's in the war, and he almost got shot down. But then somebody shoots a Nazi fighter that was going to shoot him his parachute. Of course, we know the Nazis didn't play fair. You don't shoot anybody while they're on a parachute.
Yeah,
on a plane, you don't do that. That's just downright dirty.
that's just dirty.
Yeah, that's the dirty. That's
war
the lowest.
crimes.
Right, that's the lowest you can be. But I think, and at the end of the book, he wakes up in a bed.
Yeah.
But there's a caption that says 6 months before the variants. So he keeps referring to the variants throughout the book.
Right.
Me personally, it was good, man. It was well drawn, well orchestrated. The plot was played out very well. The book flowed really, really nicely. Like I said, it wasn't dialogue heavy. The dialogue that you got, it moved the story along. It was not. It was not a thing where you're reading, and then you had. The only question I had at the end of the book was, what is the variance? Like, was that an event? Right? Was that a Big Bang event, or is there more people like him? Are there more people out there like him? Did he get that during the war?
Yeah. Was this something that happened to a group of people? Something that just happened to him?
Right, during the war, because remember he was in World War II.
Yeah,
so it was something that happened to him in World War II. His plane went down. Maybe the Nazis captured him, experimented on him.
Mm-hmm.
He got those powers. Some freak Nazi experiment. I don't know, but I want to know, and that's how the book is. So I understand why it's called Dark Blood. I get that. You got a black man. So it's got to be something up with his blood. So dark.
Yeah, and in the last scene, excuse me, let me get a drink. In the last scene, they show like the him from behind in his back, and you see all these like veins.
Yeah, like you see all the veins glowing, popping out his back. I'm trying to figure. I want to know what the variance is. I don't know.
Definitely.
Anybody knows? Let me know.
I think this is issue. I mean, this is issue 1. I just picked it up. It was in my pull box, but I think it came out last week. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think issue 2 is out yet.
No, both books came out last week. Both books were last week.
Right. And Dark Blood. So Dark Blood #1 is the perfect opening salvo for a series with genuine potential. Best known for her work in screenwriting, writer LaToya Morgan artistically blends the tumult of American history with an absorbing science fiction offering. But rather than spoon feeding the audience information, it's introduced organically. As a result, every scene is brimming with conflict, keeping the reader engaged. Admittedly, there are far more questions than answers presented, like you said, but it never feels wanting. Instead, the issue persuades the reader to remain with the series, to witness what comes next. You want to know, it's not like, oh man, like they just ain't telling me enough. It's like, oh man, this is pulling me along like a great novel. In addition, the issue touches on themes of racism and soldiers reacclimating to civilian life, with enough of a fantastical touch to draw in readers on all genres. I couldn't help but enjoy the first issue while looking ahead to what's in store for the series. Boom Studios put out a statement that says, like, not a statement, but this is kind of what they're saying about it. What if you were given the power to change the course of history? Alabama, 1955. Avery Aldridge is an ordinary young black man, a decorated World War II veteran. Avery provides for his wife and daughter, but wounds of the past have a way of coming back, and Avery Aldridge will soon discover that he's anything but ordinary. After running after a run-in awakens strange new abilities, Avery's about to become more powerful than he could have ever dared to dream in a country and a society that never wanted him to have any power. So powerful shit. And it's dope. Morgan pulls no punches in the premiere issue, throwing readers deep in, right into the deep end. Like I said, set in 1955, a dark period in American history, steeped in racism and division. Dark Blood refuses to dance around the subject, tackling it head on. Avery Aldridge, double A to his friends, is a decorated war vet whose service doesn't garner the respect it deserves simply because of his race. It's a story all too common that is just as poignant today as it was then. It's still relevant. Listen to the latest episode, or check out the latest issue of this. Much of the issue is set in two scenes using clever time jumps to juxtapose the conflict. Maybe it's Morgan's time as a screenwriter, but every page is brimming with palpable tension. Nothing is wasted. Every page and panel either pushes the story forward, informs the reader, or provides a contributing detail, which is exactly what you want out of anything you're reading. Like when you write a book, or if you read a book rather, because I'm writing a book. So that's the goal, is you want to push with every page, you want to push the story forward. You got to inform the reader and provide, details and make them want to turn the page. What's next? You can't just be rattling off events, you know what I mean? Or it can't just be dialogue. So it has, the chemistry between Latoya Morgan and the artist Walt Brenner just brings it to life. Like really just leaps off the page. The issue plays out like the best cinematic, it's like a movie. But with the artist Barna's talent painting the picture. The panels can be likened to carefully choreographed shots in a movie. An establishing shot of an old diner right in the beginning, close-ups of the door chiming, as they walk in, wide shots of the aerial combat, like Sergio Leone-esque extreme close-ups of Avery's eyes in their fight. I would be remiss if I didn't draw attention to the colors in Dark Blood #1. It's often overlooked when done right. Most people don't think about the colorist. You think about, oh, the art, who's drawing the art, like who's the artist. In comics, there's the penciler who draws the black and white lines. Then you've got the colorist who then colors it all in. It's not one guy or girl.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So a lot of people, but it stands out, when it's done, when it's not done right, it stands out, for all the wrong reasons. But there's like they use muted tones that perfectly match the story on the page. For example, there's a scene in the alleyway with the two characters, at odds with one another. The colors perfectly match the line work as the faint light of the street lamp, only partially lights the
That's
scene.
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get the feeling that they're in a dark alley.
Yeah, and it's
and
like
it's
a
nighttime.
movie.
Right.
It's
You get a
cinematic.
feeling that it's night. You get the feeling that it's dark. The like the shadows and the light, like everything in the shadow. I mean, the light is illuminated. Thing in the dark is shaded real well. You're right. They're 100% right. The overall feel of the comic is great, man. It's like strange to me. I would have to. It would be like my first time watching Stranger Things. Like everything was just right. Like the whole setting was just right, and they opened it up real nice.
Absolutely. That's a great example too, because Stranger Things, man, is mad underrated. I mean, it's mad popular, but certain people don't get it. They don't watch it like most people in my demographic don't feel it because they think it's like for kids or it's a kids thing or whatever. But that shit was made for us. If you're in your 40s or even early 50s, late 30s, that shit was made for us because it takes place in the 80s. It brings the
Yeah,
whole.
the whole '80s vibe is.
It's
I love
crazy.
Stranger Things, man. I
Oh,
love
I
that.
love Stranger Things.
Yeah, that whole '80s vibe, man. That does it for me.
Hell
Love
yeah.
it.
Yep. And so, but like in films, voiceover is often considered a crutch. Unlike cinema, character narration is a founding principle of the comic book medium. However, Morgan, he uses the narration really sparingly. Not every not every thought warrants, a narration box or a thought bubble. It's not really heavy with words. It's not a big chunks of writing, but you still feel like you're reading a book. Um, you know what I mean? Like that that show me, don't tell me. That's what you know what I mean. That's what a good author does. They show you what's going on. They're not just telling it to you. Like
Tell me,
if you can
right?
kind of, yeah, it's not. I'm not just explaining it to you, giving you a list of shit. I'm showing you what goes down, and they really they really do that great here. Um, adding emphasis on the action playing out rather than drawing away from it. My only worry is that some fans might find themselves turned off by this style of storytelling, expecting over the top action and tentpole scenes. I would argue that they are doing themselves a disservice if you know what I mean. Like in terms of the pace, the story never lets up. It's like boom, boom, boom. The scenes are as tense as they come, and the mystery around the variants, like you were saying, the event, like what is it? It's so you know what I mean. It's kind of taking over. What is that? What is that? And
Yeah, that's the variance. Yeah, that was my biggest question.
yeah,
Reading the comic because he spoke about it a few times, and he's like, "Damn, what is that? Like, what? Is that how he got his powers? I don't know."
yeah, and it's like most readers rely on a foundation of continuity coming into a comic series with a strong understanding of the characters, the world, but with Dark Blood, it doesn't have that luxury. But that's what's dope about it almost. It lets them really build their own story with very rich themes and plenty of intrigue and all the great. I mean, it's crazy. Like we did. I honestly, I'm gonna be straight up to anybody that's watching. We didn't like know about these books and then pick them out. It was like that's just what we chose to do the show on, and ended up. I couldn't have picked two better books. Like it's rare, I think, that we get two books that are this dope.
That is true, man. I mean, they're very well written, man. Like I was just blown away by it. I don't
Hell
know,
yeah,
man. I was just blown away by the dialogue because it moved. Like I've read comics where I'm like, oh my god, like come on, let's just get to the point,
yeah,
and not in an anxious or overzealous way. It's just they're just giving you, they're overloading you with useless information about
yeah.
the story that isn't even relevant to it. It's just
Hmm.
it's just a lot of character interact. Sort of like you ever watch those Japanese cartoons and people say, "Oh, it's great," and then you like Gundam. I watch Gundam. Some Gundams I like. Some
Right.
Gundam shows, I'll be like, look, it's just too much character interaction. Like the
Oh,
show,
you
show
like
called
anime?
Gundam, whatever.
Yeah,
Not
anime.
the love story, right? Like some animes are like that, where
Yeah,
they just feed you too much. It's just too much character interaction,
yeah. Right, right. Not enough. Not enough moving the story forward.
right? Just a lot of drama,
Yeah.
and just I'm not with it. Just let's get on with the story, man. Tell me a
Hmm.
good story.
Yeah, some of the best stories are told without really telling this. It's like Reservoir Dogs. You see this whole movie about a robbery that we never see.
Right, right.
The
Yeah,
whole, you know what I mean? The
you're
whole
right. Yeah,
movie,
we never
yeah,
see it.
you never see the robbery. You just see the criminals being hired for the job, and then you see them
where it
at
went
the
wrong.
after meetup spot
Right.
when they go
Yeah.
meet up at the spot after the joint. Yeah, and but I
And we
swear
don't
to
even
God,
know.
I feel like I seen it though. I
We don't
feel
even
like
know
I
what
seen
they.
it.
Right. We don't even know what they stole. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
they
But
don't
it
even
was
show
a
you.
jewelry store they robbed. They
No.
robbed. Yeah, they robbed a
Oh, I
jewelry store.
remember. No,
You talking
remember.
about Pulp Fiction? You talking about Pulp Fiction?
No,
Where we
not
don't
Pulp
know what's
Fiction.
in the case.
But Pulp Fiction is actually part two to Reservoir Dogs. It's
It is.
actually intertwined. Where
Yeah, it's in.
remember they had the brief. Remember they had the briefcase, and then the
Mhm.
briefcase in Pulp Fiction was the briefcase from Reservoir Dogs.
You think so?
And no, so it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. They're all linked.
No, they're
Even
definitely all linked. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, the briefcase in Reservoir Dogs.
But they definitely robbed the jewelry store in Reservoir Dogs. That was the thing. That's what they did. I promise.
Did they?
I promise.
Did
It's a
they?
jewelry store robbery.
Because when they opened that briefcase, there wasn't no jewelry in there.
See, I didn't see that, and I can't recall that from Reservoir Dogs.
Well, this is what they didn't open it in Reservoir Dogs. They opened it in Pulp Fiction. And remember when they opened it, it was gone because everybody was like, "Yo, what was in the briefcase?" They won't tell you. You just
like
know
gold, gold light shining out,
right, shining out of it. You just know that's
but you don't know.
it was.
Yeah,
right, we don't know. They won't.
And
He
that's
won't
not
ever tell.
because that's not important. It's not really important. Like, yeah, you want to know, but it's not the story. You know what I mean?
No,
And
not at all.
that's great storytelling right there. You know, and that's kind of how I kind of think about this one. You know, these books right here. All right, so we couldn't find the vitals. This was a request. Shout out to Diamond Onyx, Full Blast Tribe member. This was a request from Diamond Onyx. She wanted for us to do a thing about the vitals. The vitals is true nurse stories. Pulls out a Moon Knight. Now that's dope.
I picked up number 2.
We can, man.
Yeah, and I picked up. We got.
Did you go to free? I mean, did you get? Did you get the free comic book day books?
Yes, sir.
Did you get Red Room?
Red Room. Let me see. Let me check. I also picked up.
Wait, let me see that. What you just held up?
Clown Hunter number 1.
Oh yeah, 99, right? Is that? Oh, what is that? That's Clown Hunter.
Clown Hunter number 1.
What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I told you, man. When I go to the comic store, I gotta look because I'll pick up more DC comics than I'll pick up Marvel.
Right.
Not saying that I don't like Marvel because people will think that, but that's not the case. It's just sometimes I'm just more interested in what's going on in DC universe. Man, you said Red Room. Let me see.
This is number.
I got House of Slaughter. That's the spinoff for.
Yeah, bro. Hold on to that one.
Let me get that slab.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get that slab.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my slab too. I got Stray Dogs. I got that.
Yeah, I got Red Room. Red Room is right here. Yeah.
See, that's the only one.
I heard it's good. I didn't get to read it though.
It's the only one I couldn't find. What you want for that? We got to talk. I got some. We gonna.
Come on, man. You know how we get down. It's free, baby.
Yeah.
You family. You know how we get down.
Yeah, I send you something.
Family. You know, family is family. We try. You know what I mean? We got you. I got you. Don't even worry about it, baby. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, Red Room is dope. So Ed Piscor, who we've interviewed, I interviewed with Al Mega. Shout out Al Mega, Comic Crusaders. Interviewed Ed Piscor, who wrote the Hip Hop Family Tree, Hip Hop and Comics Royalty right there, and he writes Red Room. And Red Room is about a dark web. Think Hostel, the movie Hostel, where like people pay to go murder somebody however they want to in like a little room. And so Red Room is it's like a dark web Zoom. I don't know what you call it. Chat something. So that you can go on there live and pay money, and you watch as one of the murderers kills somebody. And there's like these famous, like not famous, but each of the murderers has like a character, and people like follow that guy. Like there's Poker Face, there's different ones.
like Running Man. So like Running Man.
Yes.
Like Running Man.
Exactly. Very, yeah, good one. Yeah, Running Man, just like Running Man. And it's on issue 3 now, but it's crazy. Like he draws it and writes it, Ed Piskor, and just crazy. That's all I can say. The premise, like what I'm telling you, is crazy enough, but imagine it, 1,000 times crazier than that. I'll show you something. Watch this. All right, here's a red room. Here's a red room number 1 in 12 retailer incentive. They put tape on it. I hate this shit. I hate it. Why people? I don't want tape on my comic book. Nowhere near my shit. What if I'm pulling it out and boom, it gets stuck. Tape gets stuck on the cover and tears it. Get that shit. But yeah, check it out. So Red Room, we gonna get Diamond Onyx. We're gonna get to Vitals. I promise. I didn't forget. But Red Room. There's Poker Face right here. And so you see it's drawn like this is the screen, and here's a nut on his laptop watching it. But just check out, like, look at the art is crazy. It's not showing up that great on the camera because of all that glare, but let me cut the light down, see if that works. How's that look?
A little better. We're good. Better. Yeah, we can see it. Back it up a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, my man, he's crazy with the pen, man. He's crazy with the pen. That's one of the killers right there. Chick right here. And you can just see, man, like I mean, this guy's peeling this dude's face off. And then here he's got the face, like it's just like he don't pull, I'm telling you, he don't pull no punches, dog. Like you got dudes nailing into dudes.
Oh man.
It's just gruesome. But it's not just gratuitous for the sake of being gratuitous. It's not. I mean, you would look at some of these pages and think, "Oh, it's just a gore fest for the sake of a gore fest," but definitely not.
So there's some story to go with that gore.
There's a lot of story to go with it, and just basic entertainment. I mean, it's just entertaining. People, you've been out of shape, man. It's just entertainment. It's hella funny, like hilarious, hella funny. But yeah, I wasn't able to get that Red Room Free Comic Book Day book because neither of the two LCSs that I went to had one. Because, see, the way Free Comic Book Day works is they, the stores order. They tell the publishers, they want however many copies they want of whatever. And Enter the House of Slaughter and Red Room. Yo, salute Al Mega in the building in chat. Comic Crusaders, what's good? We were just talking about the interview with Ed Piskor that we did on Comic Crusaders. Wepa! Yeah, Wepa. But yeah, they order them, and like Enter the House of Slaughter, Red Room, Stray Dogs, and probably The Boys, but definitely those three comic book stores were selling them.
No, don't say
on
that.
some foul shit. Like, yeah, bro, like somebody would approach them and be like, "Yo, here's $1,000. Give me all the House of Slaughters that you get." And they were giving it to them. They were selling it a week before New Comic Book Day. I seen dude like for instance, Jim Mint had a House of Slaughter the Wednesday before Free Comic Book Day.
No, stop.
Yeah, he was showing it on his show, on the New Comic Book Day show. So people had them, bro. They were out there, and that's why a lot of people didn't get those three. Like those three were not at a lot of shops.
Wow,
But
man.
guys like your man, what's your guy's name?
Wait.
Wade. Sorry, yeah, Wade's Comic Madness. Shout out Wade. Wade's Comic Madness. He
Yeah, shout out
he,
to
he
Wait. Shout
he
out to
ain't
Wait.
that type of dude, right? So he had those books because he wasn't gonna do no slimy shit like that.
Right. And if you need him, go on down to Wade's Comics, man, and get him.
Definitely.
See, he might even send them to you, man. Just hit him up.
Word up.
Yeah, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter. They even have an eBay store. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Good dude. Good dude.
Wade,
Great shop.
Wade's a great dude, man. Listen, go to Wade's Comics. That's where all your comic needs can be met. I don't care where you're from in the United States. I mean, just get on the emailing list. He'll send you a list of the new comics. You put your order in, he'll send them right out to you, man. You can't get no better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, during the pandemic, he kept me live with comics.
Yeah.
They were delivering them to the door.
Wow.
Or you can just go pick them up. You pay online. They send you a PayPal invoice or you can Cash App. It was great, bro. It was great.
Well, speaking of the pandemic, and let's get to the vitals. Marvel Comics is proving.
I like the way you threw that in there.
You like that segue right there?
Yeah. Well, Florida just declared a state of emergency, so let's get to the vitals. They're a vital situation down there.
Marvel Comics is proving to its readers that you don't need superpowers to be a superhero with this new book, The Vitals. True Nurse Stories. It's called The Vitals, True Nurse Stories. And I believe this is the one that Diamond Onyx wanted me to review. So here you go. True Nurse Stories, which details the real life experience of frontline healthcare workers as they battle through and cope with the ongoing COVID pandemic. The comic publishing giant has teamed with Allegheny Health Network, AHN, and the donor advertising agency to produce the books in hope that it will provide readers with a better understanding of what these brave men and women are dealing with throughout the seemingly endless crisis that has already claimed more than 1.5 million lives across the globe. The characters and stories are amalgamations of the real-world experiences from nurses from AHN's 13 hospital facilities throughout Western Pennsylvania, drawn from the accounts of dozens of healthcare workers fighting to save lives. Physical copies of the books can be found at AHN's hospitals and at its recruiting events, though digital copies are currently available for free through Marvel's website. The book's creative team consists of writer Sean Ryan and artists Marcio Fiorito, Jose Carlo, and Mirko Kolak. To promote the release of the Vitals, AHN posted a touching video of healthcare workers, children sharing their feelings regarding their parents potentially putting themselves at risk to help others, and they're reacting to seeing their loved ones depicted as real life heroes in the pages of Marvel comic books. Who says this? Dan Buckley in a president of Marvel Entertainment press release. At Marvel, we tell stories about heroes every day, but this story is special. It tells a story about our everyday heroes, the nurses and healthcare professionals working tirelessly and courageously to save lives. Along with AHN, we are honored to help tell these stories, which we dedicate to the real heroes who are saving the world. The book highlights the toll this outbreak has taken on emergency workers and the indomitable strength and spirit they've demonstrated to overcome the stress and strain thrust upon their shoulders. It's an intimate and poignant look at the sort of courage and conviction on display every day they head out to work. The DNP chief nurse executive at AHN said, "We're so proud of them. We want to make sure they know how much we appreciate their exceptional work. We hope that that in seeing themselves as real Marvel comic superheroes, they can take a moment to look back in pride on their exceptional work and compassion during an exceptionally difficult time for our communities. It's custom to idolize the ultra powerful metahumans that regularly save innocent people's lives in the pages of any given comic book. But with the Vitals, readers are granted the opportunity to celebrate, honor, and venerate the real life people, friends, family members, and neighbors that, much like the costume do gooders on the page, put themselves in harm's way for the betterment of others. As Marvel succinctly stated in a press release for the book, real heroes don't wear capes, they wear scrubs.
Interesting. I'm going to find that book and read it. I'll be able to tell you if this comic book will,
Yeah. I think this is the comic that Diamond Onyx keeps hitting me up, DM me. You got to do this comic. Got to do this comic. Pretty sure this is it. So I hope this was it. If not, we'll find another one. But and Al Mega said new comics are made of hemp and you can smoke it. The ink is THC. I don't
I'm
know.
looking at that. Well, Omega, I mean,
Elaborate, bro.
yeah, let us know. I
Tell us
mean,
about
are you
that. I want to know.
smoking? Are you smoking your comics? I mean, that's the real question we want to know. I mean, that's the real question. Are you smoking your comics? And if you are, you sitting on a gold mine, brother. If it's getting you high, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Or just rolling the book up, man.
Roll the book up, roll that shit like that shit, smoke it.
He's reading the shit. Like, you know what? Fuck that shit.
It says indie rules made it big two stuff since it sucks. Hello, JK about that. Buy at a store or about to buy a store. Said the ink is THC. Ooh, that could be
about to buy a store. Make the big two stuff since it sucks. Yeah. Oh, made the big. Yeah, smoke it. Indie rules. Indie rules. Yeah, indie is great, man. That's why we wanted to do this show, because we love the great writers and artists and these great books that they make that get no shine from Marvel and DC and stuff like that. Great literature, more mature. Some of it's way more immature, but that's the beauty of it too. Indie comics, man, it needs to be talked about and promoted. So that's what we're doing. We're talking indies and we're talking about,
yeah, give them some light, man. Shine up.
artists.
I mean, listen, we love Marvel, we love DC, we love Dark Horse.
Absolutely.
But
Image,
Image, IDW, we love them all. But sometimes, like as a growing up, after a while, I started saying, what happens when they run out of stories? Like, are we ever going to get anything new? Like Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Spider-Man. I mean,
they recycle it a lot. It's a lot of recycled stories.
Right. What happens? Will it ever get old? I used to always ask that question. And when the indies came out, I was like, man, some of these are good. Like they're really good stories. And a lot of them they've made movies and TV series out of.
Exactly.
Really, like Sweet Tooth. That's based off an indie.
Dude, there's so many. Like most people don't even know. Like a lot of the great shows that have come out lately, and
Fallen Skies.
Yeah,
Fallen Skies. Fallen Skies was a comic. It was great.
So many. I can't think of many. There is a lot of them, but I can't think of the names right now. But there's so many shows and movies that were based on indies, even before the MCU made superhero, made comic book movies a thing.
Yeah, you got The Boys, Fallen Skies, Sweet Tooth.
Something is killing the children has been optioned, I believe. Department of Truth, I think. So there's still a lot of indies that are just now getting their getting their options and becoming shows and stuff like that. But because that's where the good writing is. This is where the good writing is. This is where the best stuff is. Like you said, Marvel and DC is great. I love them. But and even Image, as Al Mega would say, there's the big two, then there's the premiere, which is your Image, your Dark Horse, IDW, shit like that. Then there's the indie, which is, the lesser, the Boom Studios maybe, or Scout Comics, or Vault, you know. But when you look at the market share, it's Marvel, DC, and then it's Image, Dark Horse, IDW. They're all right here, and then you got the indies.
Okay.
But Image, like some of the best indie comics that we talk about on the show, that we read, that are blowing up in the market, hugely popular, are Image comics. Like Image makes phenomenal indie comics.
Yes, they do.
Whether you consider them an indie publisher or not, you can't take away from the indie books that they're making. And it's indie, indie means independent, but they're, Image isn't independent. It's independent of what? Of Marvel and DC, sure, but it's pretty big, but they've got their little departments and their little writers and stuff like that. I think even DC is doing, they're trying to do shit with like their Black Label, and you know what I mean? Like they've got Milestone, right? Is DC still Milestone? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Milestone was bought by DC, and but DC never really did anything with it.
right,
So,
right. Like Al said, like I said, Vault, Scout, and then he also mentioned Absolute and Mad Cave. Mad Cave is has one of my favorite books, Nottingham. Nottingham is crazy good.
Yeah. Don't forget Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde was another comic to movie. Constantine was another Cowboys and Aliens, which was good. That was another comic book.
Yeah, that was
Crow.
A big surprise that was good.
Yeah, don't forget the Crow. The Crow was really good.
Yeah, Milestone, like Al said, Milestone was great in the 90s. It was its thing, the OG Milestone, but it is, I could see what Al's saying. They're gonna woke it. The new Milestone is gonna be ruined compared, it's gonna ruin the original feel. Yeah, I dug the new Static. I haven't read the Icon or the Hardware yet. I have them, but I haven't read them. Did you read them, Stu? Because I know you like those characters, Icon and
I read all of them. Yeah,
Hardware, the new ones that just came out.
Just read them. Yeah, read all of them. Just got done reading Hardware. I read Hardware this weekend. I read Static #2. I read Icon #1. I read all of them, all the ones they put out so far. I've read them all.
I haven't read Static 2 yet. I read the first one, and I haven't read the Icon or the Hardware. They're sitting right there. I'm gonna be reading them ASAP. But Quionis, greetings from a rapper from Spain. Salute from Spain. Salute to Spain.
Salute.
Is on Twitch right now.
He's on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
All right, Quinones. Salute, brother.
Quionis. Yeah.
Sign up for our independent artist showcase.
Right.
Showcase your talent.
Shout out Full Blast.
Yeah, shout out Full Blast. But yeah,
so we covered the Unbelievable Unteens.
Great comic. Great. Go get it.
Super dope.
Go get it.
Check it out.
Yeah, go get it.
Definitely. We covered Dark Blood. Another
great,
go get
phenomenal comic, bro. Go get it.
I'm loving it, bro. I'm so happy that we read these, that we picked these to read straight up. Like, look, we don't get paid for this. Like, this ain't no commercial.
Right, this ain't we don't work for them. We ain't advertising.
Right. We don't get nothing out of this. I'm straight up
doing this for the love. We doing this for the love, brother.
Right.
True nerd story.
That
Vital. Find that comic, buy it, and I'll be able to tell you about it.
Yeah, they said that there's free copies, at the hospitals or whatever. You can probably, and then they've got, on the website, I'm sure that they have, check out Marvel and stuff. But yeah, man, those were all great, and we recommend them highly.
Yeah, there we do.
So what do we got going on for next Monday?
Next Monday we have the regular show, Comics and Hip Hop.
Just Comics and Hip Hop, 6:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Y'all
we're gonna
check us
talk.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going over all the books coming out next month. There's some really interesting stuff coming out next month. I want to spotlight that and make sure everybody is up in the know so they know what to pick up. And there'll also be a lot of cooks, pick of the
Pick
weeks up in there. Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna let you guys know. And don't forget, we're gonna be talking about what if.
Right.
Mm.
What If was great so far, man. That first episode.
Yeah, and then Mega says we'll be talking about drugs, comics, and music, like always. Yes, we will.
Hop and comics. That's hip hop and
Yeah,
comics.
that's
I don't know.
comics. Yeah, I don't know about you, Al, but
We
yeah,
don't talk a lot about drugs, but we definitely talk about hip hop and comics.
yes, we do.
You know, and speaking of drugs, wait, where is it? Oh, it's not here. Okay. Well, speaking of drugs, this, you know, not drugs, but CBD. Definitely please go check out American White Label CBD. AmericanWhiteLabel.com. Go check it out and get your flower. Get your flower. Order you a bag like this. Mine's almost gone, but I got one on deck about to pull up in a day or two.
Don't forget. Oh, you don't forget about Kick Ass. It was also a good indie comic.
But look at these buds, man. These are great buds, guys. These are great. The color's great. The texture. I mean, they're phenomenal. Just like any good THC bud that you would have. It has little to no THC in it. It does not get you high, but it does have a very calming, relaxing effect. CBD is good for so many things medicinally, but you can definitely get the best prices. I promise you. I get an ounce for like $30, which is crazy. Anywhere else they're like $70. So AmericanWhiteLabel.com. Get an ounce of bud for $30. Can't beat it. You can't beat it. Check them out.
Oh yeah, it's American White Label. We love them. They love us. Don't forget one more indie comic that we didn't know of. I forgot about it myself until I just thought about it. That was an indie comic that made a good movie. Road to Perdition.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Along with the movie Kick Ass 1 and 2. They were also indie comic. They were also.
Yeah, obviously, but Road to Perdition, man, that is a great movie. That's Tom Hanks. That's that gangster movie.
It was a
Yeah.
comic. Yeah, it was a comic.
Indie comic, right? That's
It was a movie.
that's it. That's what indie comics do. They make movies like Road to Perdition.
Yeah,
That shit is crazy.
it was a comic. Then they made it into a movie, and it was great. It was great.
Al Mega wants to see the what if. The what if he wants to see is what if Hulk smoked a fat blunt.
He wouldn't smash much. I can tell you that now.
Smoke big green. Call it Bruce Banner.
Yeah. Hulk smoke green.
Smoke. Remember that? You remember that Mickey Mouse cartoon back in the day? When Mickey Mouse was it was a giant. He was like back in the like medieval days or whatever, and there was a giant came into the village and sat down and picked up a bale of hay with the tarp on it, and he picked it up and he rolls it into a doobie. He says smoke and licks it, twists it, no bullshit. Then picks up a stove and lights it. This is you can see on Disney, Mickey Mouse.
Well, back then they used to roll them and smoke them themselves.
Now Al Mega has corrected. You Road to Perdition is not indie. It's DC.
It's DC. Yeah, it's not an indie, but it was a comic. Basically, we're saying Al.
But it was Vertigo,
right? Basically, Al was saying whether indie or not, comic books make good movies because you have to ask yourself, you know, even when it comes to Hollywood, how many more stories can they tell? Like, how many more rehashes of other movies are we going to see? Or, you know, things that, you know, you got to come up with new material and you got to pull from somewhere. Yeah. And a lot of people diss comic books because they think they're for children, like you said earlier, but they're not. A lot of times, because grown people write them and grown people read them.
Right. You know? It's funny. Like I was in the I mean, the same thing goes, I guess, for action figures, for comics. You can't find action figures in Walmart, anymore because they're just completely, the shelves are just bare because kids don't buy action figures anymore. When's the last time you saw kids playing with toys? They play with their smartphones and their video games and their computers. Kids don't play with toys anymore. It's 40-year-old men buying them toys.
Yeah, you
That's
said
who's
that.
and that's comics too. It's comics are more bought by adults than kids now. Way more.
Right.
But Road to Perdition, Vertigo, like DC Vertigo, it's like their attempt at doing indie. They've got a little department. It might be under the umbrella of DC, but it's the indie department.
Right. Don't forget Time Cop. Time Cop was another comic book, Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Time Cop.
Yeah.
Made it into a movie starring Van Damme.
There's tons of comic movies that aren't about superheroes.
Yeah.
That's what most people don't catch. If it's not about a superhero, they don't think of it as a comic book movie. But you can't do that because, I mean, but Road to Perdition is a perfect example, regardless if it's DC. But instead of gamma radiation, he's infused with THC and make everyone around him high when he gets mad. That's the THC Hulk, Omega said.
Omega might have been smoking something today.
Guarantee it. I guarantee it. But yeah, man, thank y'all for coming out, man, and checking us out. This New Comic Book Day Indie Review. This is every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we Mondays is hip hop and comics, also 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Al Mega is dry. He wants us to know dry as fuck.
Thank you, Al. Yeah. We know you. We just messing with you too, Al, man. We love you.
Absolutely. Shout out Comic Crusader. Shout out Full Blast Radio, DJ Tiger, the whole Full Blast tribe.
Absolutely.
Peace to everybody. Salute the comic dudes from Instagram. Salute Madmen of Comics. Check us out live. Claim sales, auctions almost every night. As soon as this is over, I'm bagging and tagging books, and I will be live on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. And like I said, we sell comic books. We just do auctions, do crazy deals, and making deals and hooking people up, man. Spreading love through comics, as my man OG Lee would say.
Word.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
We'll see you Monday, and I'll see y'all tonight on Instagram. Come check me out. I got some amazing books for y'all. Amazing.